Delegate Qi. Delegate Qi has represented Maryland's District 15 since 2019 and serves on the House Economic Matters Committee, where she leads the Economic Development Subcommittee. She has helped secure millions in state matching grants for clean energy manufacturing and innovation, strengthening Maryland's economy and competitiveness. Delegate Qi has been recognized as the Legislator of the Year by the Maryland Tech Council, the Maryland Retailers Association, and the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce for her leadership and impact. Speaking here for Delegate Chi today is Katie Mettle, who's representing Advanced Energy United. And so, Katie, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you if you're good with that.
Hi. Thanks everyone for being here. Unfortunately, Delegate Chi is running from another event, so she's going to call in just a minute, so I'll just get us started. My name is Katie Mettle, and I'm from Advanced Energy United. And I had the pleasure of working with Delegate Chi when I was a staffer inside the House Economic Matters Committee a couple of years ago. And we're really pleased that she and Senator Hester are sponsoring this bill. So the Savings Act stands for Securing Affordable, Valuable Investments in Next Generation Grid Solutions. And this is a bill that is going to create more accountability for demand side and non-wire solutions and every kind of advanced energy technology that you can think of that can help to make the grid more cost effective to build. So when you think about people's energy bills, we've got the electricity supply side and we also have the electricity delivery side. This bill will directly address the electricity supply side and directly address the electricity delivery side and indirectly benefit the electricity supply side as well. So what this is going to do is require utilities. Oh, Delegate Chi just joined us. Hi, Delegate Chi.
Hi,
Hi, I know you just came from another event. Um, I
I
just
know.
I just
Oops.
started talking about the build. Do you want to jump in? I haven't even gotten into the meat yet. I was just doing introductions.
Actually, go ahead, please, because I'm in my car and it's raining like hell.
Absolutely. And then feel free to jump in.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is time
sure.
to catch
Great.
up. So what the Savings Act is going to do is require utilities to create a cost containment plan. And this is really going to be an accountability measure in order to kind of centrally document everything that utilities are already doing within other programs. So it's not going to step on the distribution system planning work groups work. It's not going to step on the Drive Act and VPPs, but it's going to account for them in this mechanism of just keeping track of what folks are doing and what the utilities are doing. So cost containment plans can be very inclusive. Anything that can help to save money on capital expenses is going to be able to be included by utilities in their plans. But they do have to include several different things. They have to articulate what they are doing in their electric system plan, including non-wire solutions and DERs. They have to include ATTs, automated load management, demand flexibility, flexible interconnection, GETs, grid flexibility programs that achieve a goal of greater than 20% net system peak by 2030. So we do have our first metric there. Also building electrification and efficiency, VPPs, how the utility is coordinating distribution investments and transmission planning in the most cost-effective way, and how they are complying with the FERC order regarding regional versus local transmission. And these cost containment plans have to all together reduce peak system load by at least 500 megawatts over 2024 levels by 2030 and be projected to produce demonstrable and significant cost savings according to the PSC's Unified Benefit Cost Analysis Framework. So the PSC is going to approve these plans. They can also go back to utility and tell them that they need to do their homework over again. And if the utility fails to meet either of these two measurable goals by 2030, the PSC will have a menu of options that they may choose to use in order to penalize the utility. So they can fine the utility, they can reduce their ROE, or they can partially or fully deny the cost of recovery for their approved cost containment plan. So what this is really going to do is bring accountability to a lot of programs that are really great that the PSC is working on, and just kind of bring in that measurable metric and that stick that is needed in order to really make them much more enforceable and give them a lot more heft and a lot more weight. So it's really meant to complement the work that is already being done. Now, this is something that we haven't seen another state do something quite like this before, which is very exciting. And we're excited to see where this can go and what other states we can also bring this to and maybe make this happen in a few different places. There is some really interesting data that does suggest, to demonstrate, argue that this could save hundreds of millions of dollars over decades. We're talking long-term savings that can really benefit people for a very long time and be really transformative in the utility business model and how it works and how it affects us every day. So there's some really great data from the OPC that shows up to 44% as of last summer of a person's electricity bill could actually come directly from their delivery costs. And we've also got some really great data showing that for the last 15 or 16 years from 2010, electricity delivery costs have doubled or tripled that of inflation in most service territories in Maryland. And even though I'm sure that this has come up before on the call today and might come up later today again and come up tomorrow, you can't beat the dead horse too much when we talk about how utilities make their money. Investor-owned utilities have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders. They do not have a fiduciary responsibility to their customers, and they have an unusual incentive. Most businesses that are on the stock market, they have to keep their overhead low to maximize their profits. But because utilities are in this unusual situation of effectively having their rates set and capped and needing that approval from the PSC, but also being rewarded with a very generous return on equity for their capital expenses that is almost effectively guaranteed. And when they do get it, it's pretty high. They don't have the thin margins that most businesses have. They have a perverse incentive to spend as much money as possible. So what we're really going to do is get them to minimize new pole and wire build out, still deliver a more efficient grid that has lower demand. When we reduce peak demand with these advanced energy technologies and solutions, then what we do is we're actually creating more headroom that creates a more reliable grid, and that frees up supply, and that also can have a positive downward pressure effect on wholesale market prices and potentially the capacity market too. There have been studies from New Jersey and New York that have indicated that when these kinds of investments are made, you can see a tremendous return. There was a great study in New Jersey that showed, I have the numbers in front of me. I have to scroll down on my page to find them. Let's see. In New Jersey, there was a study that projected that $340.7 million worth of capital investments in these kinds of advanced energy solutions across 66 projects would yield, in real discounted dollars, including depreciation, would yield $761 million. That's in real dollars, over 20 years. So that's almost double the value. And then in New York, there was a study about using grid flexibility across the entire state, just not New York City, but in New York State, they discovered that with grid flexibility, they had the potential to lower their summer peak demand by 11% by 2030, which is wild. It's just so much.
Yeah.
Um,
Katie, we're running a little bit over
oh,
time. If you don't
I'm
mind
sorry,
wrapping it up a little bit.
sorry. I wanted to cover all the bases. Sorry about that. So
Doing a
that's
great job. Thank you.
nutshell. And thank you so much to Delegate Qi.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Delegate Chief, for making an appearance. Thank you, Katie, for all that great information in the background.